It's happening again, folks. Toronto Maple Leafs with a chance to win the series on home ice for the first time in a very long time, over 20 years, come out and put on a display that has fans absolutely fired up. Welcome in, everybody. Very interesting game there. Not a great one. Not a great one at all. I know Darius has a lot to say, and welcome in, first of all, on to Game 6. Game 6 is in 2 days. It is on Thursday. It's only a one-day turnaround. There's questions about what line changes are going to happen. We'll find out tomorrow. All these different quotes, a ton of different things here. But what matters right now is that the Leafs lost that game. They're still up 3-2 in the series. But, the Game 4, the Leafs played better. Tonight, Marquette played fantastic, and the Leafs couldn't generate any opportunities in the 5-on-5, but disgraceful is a good word there, Jim, and I'll have the box score up for you if you guys want to look at it. Not a great game for Stolarz either. I don't think it was necessarily his fault, though, this game. And Darius, it was a pretty rough one. I'm going to just stay it up front. I'm pretty optimistic still. I know I'm one of the few who are, so I'll let you take over here, but about as bad as it gets for the core four there tonight.
So we've covered this whole season, Nick, and it's been a great pleasure covering it with you. And fantastic. We covered almost every single post game, all of that. It really looked like this team was different. And I'm going to try and keep it together here on stream today because I am this close to crashing out because of this team. So they aren't different. They aren't. And I've been very optimistic all year. I would not be surprised in the slightest if they lost the series at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored one goal the rest of the way that they played today. They're not locked in. They always say the things that you want to hear. They never execute on them. That's where we're at right now. Tkachuk waving to the fans in Ottawa and saying, we'll be back, and then doing exactly that is a disgrace. If you're the Leafs, to allow him to do that. And there's just so much to go over today. They didn't come to play at all. You're at home with the fans behind you, ready for you to clinch on home ice to go on to the second round and play whoever it's going to be, because Aaron Ekblad suspended now. We don't know what's going to happen with Florida, right? Like, there's a lot going on. That series it's just not done. It's not done, and neither is this one. So you had all this entire opportunity, and I've been talking about it all year. I'm going to throw it back to you in a second, Nick. I've been talking about it all year. Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, all these guys from Game 4 to 7 do not show up every single time, and we're seeing it start tonight. They didn't again. When the lights get too bright, they hide. And it happened again tonight, and I'm excited to see what happens in Game 6 because I would imagine it's going to be more of the same, but we'll see what happens. Not blaming Stolarz in this one. You need to score a goal to win a hockey game. So that's that. Was Allmark good? Yeah, but maybe we should shoot a little bit more on the power play. There's just a lot to go over with this one, but the way they played today is so unlike the way they've played this whole season, where I actually thought, okay, we're getting somewhere here. They played exactly the same way as they did under Sheldon Keefe tonight. And every single time something didn't happen, they started to cry about it, and they reverted exactly back to what they know. Yeah. In high pressure situations and to close out. They did exactly that. That's a terrible sign to me. So yeah. I don't know where to take it from here. That sucked. I know you can't be on every game. That should have been your Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final with the history of this team. You have to win this game. You have to win this game. That's it.
You look at the plus minus there, -4 for Marner, Matthews, and Nyes. Of course, a couple of those being in the empty net. Someone said the crowd was quiet. I'd say I'd be quiet if I was there, probably, with the way that they were.
What do you have to cheer about? What do you have to cheer about? What did they give you to cheer about? I hate that narrative. Sorry, Nick. Go
ahead. Regarding this, I think I think they're going to win the series in Game 6, and I think they're going to. It might be delusional of me. I think they're going to come back out and play really well in Game 6 because of this loss. Though tonight was a picture perfect example of the Sheldon Keefe era. They look the exact same as the old core four, and that's the worry. At the same time, I'd say every other game they showed in this series shows otherwise. And you could argue last game. I thought last game was one of their best games. So I'm not quite ready to write them off. I think they've had a very good series to date. Yes, they're up 3-2, but this loss was really, really bad. However, I think they're going to be fine. Could be a crazy. I know the history. We've all witnessed it. We've all experienced it. And obviously, we covered every single game of the channel. I just have full faith in. I don't know why necessarily. I think they're going to have a bounce back game. There was some really bad. They just didn't generate anything tonight. They didn't have a good game. No one really looked good. But I think there's going to be some change. I think Robertson probably comes in for somebody. I don't know who. I think Pat just had an okay game, which is kind of funny. I think he played fine. Their power play was bad tonight. It did not look good at all. They gave up, of course, a shorthanded goal, not Stolarz' fault. The first goal probably should have been saved by Stolarz, but Allmark had a good game, but not a lot of their shots were high danger. That being said, I think I counted like 4 or 5, which is the most thing I've ever seen this season, almost breakaways, where they were breakaways and the guys just didn't. They weren't. I was thinking to myself during the game, they just weren't, and maybe it's probably to what you were saying. They just weren't on at all. Like even their passes, everything was just a step behind. Their stretch passes, so many chances for breakaways. Nylander had one. Lawton maybe. There were so many different chances. Tavares, they didn't get it going, and I also think Austin Matthews. We'll probably have a video on it tomorrow. He's hurt. He's definitely hurt, and that's
for sure.
That's a concern, but that doesn't matter at this point. I have faith. I think it's gonna light a fire under them under Craig Berube, but I understand people who say that it's the same old Leafs and that it's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe it's unrealistic hope, but the odds are still in the Leafs' favor heavily. Which is if you want to go that direction, then you can. I don't know. I don't see them losing 2 in a row, or 4 in a row total. Put Robertson in. Shout out to you, Blake, for the 279. He probably goes in.
I think that's probably the change at this point. Yeah, they looked a bit slow, that third line. Bobby McMahon has forgotten how to play the sport. Real bad. Like real bad. He's making look, I'm gonna say it when I'm wrong. I said he might have made a difference last year. He was hurt in the playoffs, like he didn't play the playoffs last year. I was like, he's gonna be a difference maker in this year's playoffs. Boy, was I ever wrong. This player stinks right now. He's forgotten how to play the sport. And Pacioretty looks slow. Domi, they took something that was clearly working, changed it. It kind of worked, and then they stuck to it, but it hasn't worked since with that third line. It's unplayable. They moved Domi back up. Like it's completely an unplayable line. Like that was a bad mistake. So, and again, you can look at it like, yes, we're winning, and I kind of agree with that. And I know the superstitions and stuff like that. Yes, we've been winning games. We're not going to change the lineup. I get it. Robertson in at this point actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the third line, the fourth line again was your best line. That can't happen. It just can't happen. And again, the defense I thought was honestly fine. Like I didn't think there was anything crazy with that. There was a couple bad penalties either way. All of a sudden, by the way, can't score on the power play. Right, we were talking about it for the first 2 games. Every year we talk about this. Leafs power play 0 for 30 in series clinching games. 0 for 30 for their last 30, I should say, in series clinching games. Horrifying, awful.
Yeah.
And another thing I saw tonight, a lot of dumping it in. Okay, boys, let's go chase. Or not. Let's just let Ottawa have it then and break out. Like completely different than the first 2 games. And they do this every single time. So I do appreciate your optimism, Nick. And I think I'm just emotional because the game just ended, right? And I'll probably, come down tomorrow and I'll be like, see things differently.
The past is the past.
The past is right there. The past is right there. The ghosts are at your doorstep, and you're letting them walk right in.
Yeah,
you're opening the door. They're on your Ring cam, right? They're saying, "Hey guys, what's going on? Let me in." And the Leafs are saying, "No problem, right this way."
I am extremely excited to see what Craig Berube has to say after this game and then into tomorrow's practice. I'm also, if this game would have happened with 2 days break in between, I probably would have lost my mind. Luckily, it's just 1 day and you move, but I do have the impact scorecard, and I think one of the reasons is Perry. I think a first-time donator, definitely a first-time donator coming in with the 10. Infiltrating enemy lines here. Big Habs fan here. Please win Game 6. Perry, we will do our best, but thank you for the 10. We do appreciate it greatly. And so, okay. Now, a few things I want to dive into. Obviously, also, if you liked Darius' take, hit the like button. Let's go that way. Because I know I'm not going to say if you think the Leafs are going to win. If you like the Darius take,
if you like Nick's take, hit the like button.
Oh, geez, that's not a good. And mine isn't that. I think they had a horrible game today. It was. I don't think they played that bad in like the first couple periods. Like it was. It's
really amplified by everything that has happened. That's the problem.
The reason I have some optimism is simply because of. At least for winning this series. I mean, if you play this way, you're getting pumped by Tampa Bay or Florida, whoever wins the series. I just don't. I didn't see in games. Now you mentioned it. They do choke under pressure, and that's obviously the caveat here. But I don't know. I thought they played great in games 1 to 4, and obviously whether you want to go the advanced analytics or not, like they got to 3-0, something the team hasn't done right? Something the core four has not done. They got there. Now they're starting to choke, and that's the worry. I'm just trying to keep. It's near impossible to do, but everybody is haunted by the ghost. I'm just trying to keep it as this year as possible. I'm trying to keep everything in a vacuum of this year. And I think if and you can't really do that with this team, with these players, with the coaching staff, all these different things. I just have some positivity. I think they're going to win in Game 6. However, the fact that they had a 4-minute power play in overtime to sweep the series, and now we're here, that is what is brutal. And the power play was bad. They were inches away from scoring multiple times. And the scarier thing for me is less about how the Leafs played tonight and more about how the Sens played tonight. And the Senators played extremely well. That's what I'm more worried about. I don't think could happen. I don't think the Leafs are going to play this bad on Thursday. I think they're going to come out and play good. But the question is now, they're going to have to take a step up from where they even played in games 1 to 4 because Linus Ullmark looks a lot better. But at the same time, but being a little bit objective here, the Senators are still barely scoring goals. So it's not like
That's
they're
true.
coming
They have
out and scoring
299.
5 or 6 goals a game. They are barely scoring goals. And quite frankly, this is definitely not the take that most people are expecting. Like up until that shorthanded goal, absolutely terrible, by the way. One of the worst. I mean, it was just Nylander
Awful.
walking back as well, skating slowly. It was a 1-0 game with one of the worst games I've ever seen from this Toronto Maple Leafs team. So I have a little bit of optimism there. If I'm trying to be objective, like it was a 1-0 game, and we were talking about it mid-game, and you called it. You were right on the money. So congrats to you too. You predicted a 2-0 game or something like that. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen from this core four in general. It was the worst game this year by a landslide. It wasn't even close. It was the worst game this year, and they still, they barely lost.
Yeah. No, I mean, correct.
Thank you, Blake.
Correct.
279. Why does this happen to us? Come
thank
on.
you.
Toronto sports are cursed. The Jays suck now as well. My life is in shambles.
The Raptors not doing too well either. So, no, you're correct in thinking that, right? Like that's one way to look at it. Although every playoff game is pretty tight. Although there are some other games around the league that aren't, but I think that has more to do with the goaltenders in those series. But that is one way to look at it for sure. I just want to say too, because I'm seeing a little bit of it in the chat, and I was really thinking it during the game tonight. And I just have to say it because I brought it up earlier this season. I brought it up every time we've talked about his contract extension or negotiations. We've talked about it to preview the series. Mitch Marner leads this team in points in the playoffs in this era. They all come in game 1 and 2 of the series. He disappears after game 3 every single time. He did it again tonight. He wasn't hitting. And this is the thing I'm talking about. If you're not scoring and you're not going, you have to find a way to make yourself useful. He does not. He is not able to do that. I've said it since the start. People are like, you're just a Mitch Marner hater. No, I'm not making this up. We have the analytics and the statistics to show it. We have it. It happens. I'm not making it up. Nobody's making it up who says it. It happens. He needs to show up. That's what it is. And everyone can talk about Matthews. You're also right.
Yep.
You're also right.
Shout out to you, Jim.
He does. He does. But Matthews has scored a game 6 tying goal, right? That allowed them to then win that goal. Like he's done stuff in these moments. Nylander's the only one who shows up regularly. And then tonight he was disappointing as well. So it's your top guys. And the guys wearing a letter on their chest, making $11 million. They're not trying. They're not throwing the body. Why are the guys making less than $1 million going to do that, right? It goes from the top down. You have to lead by example if you're wearing a letter.
We have 2 members, Nick and Jim, coming in for these 6 months. Half a year. Shout out to you guys.
Half a year.
Try to take the positives. Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. Like, it would have been great to just, because the worry now is that, I mean, if they somehow lose this series, I mean, it is just the absolute worst thing that could have ever, I mean, it is just, I don't even want to think
Also,
about it.
do wonder, after all the rants and everything, I also do wonder, because I was thinking this earlier too, if the ice quality is worse in Toronto, because I felt like everyone was bobbling the puck, right? Like compared to the last 2 games, I felt like I was watching tennis.
Jose member for 4 months, Jim. Second bright side. Nobody here had to pay for tickets to watch his garbage. Yep. It's very true. They were booing him a little bit towards the end, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Bruins Digest coming in here. Oh no. Yeah, well, he finished 3rd last in the NHL, so I'll take at least the playoff games for now.
That's at least we're in the playoffs, I guess. I guess.
We can say that to the Bruins. They were supposed to be good. I don't like saying that to Habs fans, even though they're in the playoffs and they're down 3-1, because at least the Habs are, they're in there. They're not supposed to be in there. Bruins, the other hand,
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
The other thing, a couple of people are saying about the Marner stuff. The other thing that drives me crazy is before tonight's game, Nick, I don't know if you saw this quote. He says, I don't live in the future. I don't live in the past. I'm in the moment right now. I want to get this done. Well, you didn't. And I bet post game, we're going to cover it tomorrow. He's going to come out and say something like, well, we have a perfect opportunity for game 6 now. Like he's going to say, he always does that.
Robert comes in with the 5. Senators play like it's the end of their season. The Leafs play like it's at the start. Yes. Sens play desperate. I gotta give the Sens credit. I gotta give them all credit.
They played with desperation.
I'm gonna give Travis Green credit. However, can't stand him. Cannot stand him. But he has his team more prepared. I don't think it's a Craig Berube issue. I think this is solely on the players. I think it is 100% the players. Can't blame Brad Living. Can't blame Craig Berube. They're either going to show up Thursday or they're not. And I'll ask you this. If they come up Thursday, and I'll ask the chat this as well. If they come up Thursday and they win the game, what's the sentiment then? Also, shout out to UCH, $2 all the way from Australia. You can feel my fury all the way from Australia. Shout out to you. It must be morning for you, I guess. Or afternoon, maybe. How are you going to feel if they come out and win game 6, which is a very likely possibility? Are we still going to be like negative in the sense of there's no way they beat Florida, Tampa? Or are we going to, you think there's going to be some, like, is this game
it's absolutely going to switch.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, I mean, they did hit a couple posts tonight. Like, there was a couple opportunities they could have scored, but Ottawa could have had a couple goals as well in the same way. So there is some of that.
I mean, like, realistically, Matthews, I don't know how you missed that one at the end, before the empty net or before the empty net goal, hit the post. There was a lot of shots that could have scored an Ullmark that didn't. Even the Steven Lorentz one, just on like the 2-on-1 where he didn't even get a shot off. Pretty sure that was a trip, but either way, it was weird. I don't know who tripped him. I don't know whether it was the goalie, then it's fine. But yeah, either way, regardless, he didn't get a shot on goal. But that was another high-ish danger chance. And again, like I kept mentioning, I think I literally counted 4 breakaways that like they just either the pass was off or whoever the lead man was just couldn't corral the puck. So it's like, I don't know. It was bad.
Think it was wasn't it Lawrence? Wasn't it Lawrence?
There was multiple. I counted multiple.
There,
like maybe not like full breakaways,
like
but like one-on-ones where they just hit the puck and then it just bounced off their stick and went away. You have a chance to win the next one. Let's go into the impact score chart. Yep. Funny enough, the core 4 is all near the top. And as much as we're talking bad about them, you have Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, Morgan, Marner, Nye, which is crazy because they're -4, but 2 of those were empty net goals. Pontus, OEL, Lawton with a very good game. This might have been Lawton's definitely his best game of the postseason, but it kind of got lost in all this.
He did you see that move he made in the first? I think it was the first period. Like he's feeling good. He's feeling really very confident. Good. Yeah, he looked very good.
Terrible. So. McMahon, terrible. Awful. I said Pacioretty looked better. I still think he did than last game. Bad. Jake McCabe, Benoit, it is what it is. They'll probably get rid of, like, they might just, do they throw David Kampf in the mix and just really just throw stuff around?
No, you can't. It's got to be Robertson for Pacioretty, and that's it. Because you can't, this deep in the series, you can't put somebody in who hasn't played. Unless there's like a significant injury and it works. But I just,
yeah, I don't think so.
That's just my opinion. I don't think you can do that. I think that would really mess things up, especially with the position they're in. Because, like, a couple bounces their way, they can win game 6, right? They put themselves in an opportunity where if they do get some puck luck, yes, they can win, right? So we'll see what happens in game 6. But I didn't like the effort for 55 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
And then it was too late because the effort came, but then Ottawa was up 3-0 with the empty netter. So I do want to read I have a Mitch Marner quote from tonight, as I was mentioning, that it came out. And this is from James Myrtle. Mitch Marner, we had our looks, didn't capitalize on them. So now, Nick, I'm going to run that through an AI detector to see if that is artificial intelligence saying that. Like we know that. We saw it. It's frustrating. It is just very frustrating. I think Chris Tanev, we're up 3-2 in the series. I think we're fine.
Yep.
You have to win game 6. You have to win game 6 now.
Might hate me for it. He's right. Yep. He's right
objectively, yeah, he is.
You don't really want to hear that, but at the same time, like they had as bad as they played. Oh, frustrating. I don't know. They're going to come back out. I think they're going to have a fire lit under them. I'm going to be optimistic. They're going to come back Thursday in Ottawa and just completely. I think Thursday is the real day, the real test. If they come out and have another stinker Thursday, I'll hop right
It's
on the
real
hate.
bad. Yeah.
I'll hop right on the negative hate train with you. But I'm going to give them one pass because they've played different 80% of this year. So I want to give them 80 or 90%. So I want to give them,
Fair.
I'm going to give them their one game. Can't
See if
blame
they can
Brube.
bounce
They
back.
won in the division in first 3 games under his guidance. Just didn't play hard enough. I think that's what it comes down to. I'm going to, and maybe this will age terribly and they get reverse. I mean, if they choke a 3-0 lead, I mean, it's, I don't know. But,
Well, it would be worse than Montreal. It would officially be
oh, yeah,
worse than the
100%.
Montreal series somehow. So
Marner be gone.
that'd be
They'd
horrible.
probably trade.
They got to score on the power play. I know it's not going to operate at 50%, but how many did they have tonight? 4 or 5, something in that range. Mitch Marner got RKO'd from behind by one guy, Ridley Gregg, and then he's celebrating in the box when they scored the shorthanded goal. Like, this is the stuff we fans are talking about. This is embarrassing.
I think there was
Maybe three full power
I think
plays.
it was 3.
I think it was 4 with because they had the half one, maybe.
Yep,
something
Blake
like
with
that.
699 2 years ago. We're cheering because Toronto passed the first round this year. Disappointed. Toronto loses game 6 for not winning game 7. Yeah,
Seen it
I mean, it's a
before.
good chance. I just don't, and I'm not usually the one for the hot takes here. I just don't think like it does. Obviously, I don't think they're gonna I don't think this game tonight's gonna affect them like Thursday. I think it's just gonna be I know it's not really how it works. I just think that's how Craig Berube has prepared them, and maybe that's my having too much belief in Craig Berube. But there's also
I don't think they started after the first shift. I thought they fell asleep. Like, it was a bad effort, but then they picked it up in the third, but it was too late. But
And the unfortunate thing about the power play, you mentioned it real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah, go. No,
the
go ahead.
shorthander goal, terrible. The
Mhm.
penalty in their first power play, I believe it was, that they took, so they only had 50 seconds
awful.
of terrible. But that power play looked great. For that minute
It
and
did.
10 seconds,
Yeah.
it was like one of the best. And they had a ton of looks. I still don't know how Linus Ullmark didn't let in a goal. I mean, a lot of unlucky bounces, like, because usually these tips, they'll go somewhere close or something like that, and they just didn't. But that power play for the minute and 10 looked good, and then the rest of the game looked completely terrible. And the Stolars really only gave up one bad goal. Probably should have had that one. I mean, it wasn't even tipped, I don't think. I think it just went in off his shoulder. But they're not going to change. I don't know. It's going to be a hard conversation to have tomorrow, and they're going to practice tomorrow. So we'll know if Moussa Matthews' wrist is hurt. If
Well, they better be practicing.
What?
They better be practicing. They better be practicing. I don't think Matthews. They made a big deal of the icing of the thing of his palm because he blocked that shot. I don't think that was anything. I'm sure he was fine after that. And he's breaking sticks and the whole thing. I don't know if you saw that too on the broadcast. Like, that's all fine, but like let's get going here. Let's get going here. They can still win game 6. Couple of bounces. They haven't had the bounces the last 2 games. I think that's been the
100%.
difference.
Yeah,
I think that's been the
100%.
difference. For the most part, I think you can outwork that stuff sometimes, right? And I just don't think they did tonight consistently, and that's a problem in itself.
And that's why I'm remote.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's different if they would have squeaked through some. I mean, I guess some of them are overtime in the first few games. I don't know. Like, I don't think they played really bad tonight. But I don't know. I think they're fine. I really do. I feel like the initial heat is kind of wearing off a little bit on me here. They're up 3-2 in a playoff series. Like, it is what it is. Like, other teams, and obviously the problem is the ghost of the past, their stats in the past. It is a very different team, but the same like core 4. But
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, again, Morgan Riley, he didn't play that bad. He didn't play good. I don't know. I think I think they're fine. I think it's gonna feel like the ceiling's falling down.
For sure.
I'm gonna stand by it. I think they're fine, and I think they're gonna come out Thursday. And if they lose Thursday, we have a game 7. Like at the end of the day, you have your next game. Now, a game 7 would take years off of my life.
Thinking about it is taking years off my life.
And the funny thing is, I love like every minute of it. Like, this is the most fun time of the year, even though like tonight's game was really bad. A sweep, we were this close to a sweep. Game 7, I don't know if I'd be able to necessarily handle.
Let's take it back to 2022 for a second. Okay. The Leafs were up 3-2 in the series. They went into game 6. They had a good game 6. They lost it. And everyone was like, okay, game 7 back on home ice. Perfect. They lost 2-1, and the 2 goals were scored by Nick Paul, and they were the worst goals I've ever seen in the play. Like, it doesn't matter. And in game 7, like, it could go off the glass and in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Don't leave it up to that with the opportunity that you built for yourself with the 3-0 lead. Finish it. Just finish it on. They have to play. This is the thing I'm talking about. Like you have to play like there is no tomorrow. I feel like they're thinking about I need to preserve energy. I don't know what it is for the next series or something. I don't know what this mental block is. There is no tomorrow. Win that game. Win that game so you can guarantee a tomorrow. Or there is no tomorrow. Well, there would be. It would be a game 7, but it might not go well. Let's get going here on Thursday. Let's get going on Thursday.
Man. Ah. The fact that we're here is absurd. Like, a lot of quotes coming out. We'll have a video early in the morning for you all. But Darius, let's get into our 3 stars, and then we're good. Full faith. Full faith. Full faith.
I'm going to go off the board tonight, actually. Way off
I'm going to go, my 3rd star of the night, I'm going to give to Scott Lawton.
Can I just say all 3 of mine at the same time?
I'm saying my 1st star, though, because it's Kristanev.
Go ahead. Okay, Kristanev. Perfect. He had a good game. My 3 stars are the entire 4th line for tonight's game.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Lawton, Lawrence, and then Kristanev. That's where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'll probably something like that. Kristanev was great, too.
Had a play
I'll go
like
Yarncroke,
6 interception, or whatever you want to call it.
And he was breaking the puck out very well. I think that's a good pick, actually. He had a really, really good game. So, and he was hitting. He was above guys. It was good.
Stolar is saying that the Leafs are a little bit snake bitten. Welcome to Toronto. Welcome
to Toronto, Anthony. Welcome to Toronto.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're good. Take a breath. You know, I know right after the game, for some reason, I didn't feel the anger in this one. I don't know why.
Oh, I was mad. This is the first time all year I was like, I'm mad.
I just feel like I just have such confidence in this team, and every time they showed efforts like this in the regular season, they bounced back. Not the same thing at all, but I think they're going to be fine.
There is something to that, though. It's a good point.
Every time they had a bad stretch, they fought right back. There's some quotes, some interesting quotes. Berube, they're up.
We'll discuss it in the morning with a clear mind, I think, in terms of looking towards game 6 at this point. But squandered another opportunity. 1-13, Nick. 1-13 in series clinching games. Not great.
We have to wait one more, at least another day before we celebrate, hopefully, together. And 3-0 to 3-2, not ideal. However, it happens fairly often.
Yep.
But you have a chance. A lot of teams win game 6s if they're up 3-0. Getting to game 7, like obviously usually the odds are still in the Leafs' favor heavily. You need to go out and win game 6. I'm with you on that. And if you don't want to leave it to a puck bounce here and there, a bad penalty call, whatever it ends up being. They're in Ottawa. I think they're going to take care of business. To be honest, it might be good for them that they're on the road for such a high stakes game. You know, just out of their head. They don't have to worry about their home crowd. Just go ahead and go do it. And we'll obviously worry about the next matchup if they get there. Because I can no longer say in the videos that it's a given or anything like that, because they are 2 losses away from being eliminated in the first round for the 7th time in 8 years or whatever it ends up being. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to the video dropping in very early in the morning. We'll, as per usual, tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. Updates, everything. Stick with the process. I know, you're related to the fans, I think, Darius, and you're probably right. But I have.
I've been here a while. I've been here with this fan base for a while, so I've seen some things. I've watched every single moment of every game, and didn't like what I saw tonight. Didn't like it. Although great opportunity still. I mean, they were up 3-1 against Tampa that year that they won that series, and they lost game 5. It happened. Everyone was super disappointed. I feel like there's a different feeling right now because of the way Ottawa is clowning them. I think that, like there's a little bit of that. So
like I've been through, we've both been through all those brutal Leafs years. It's just at this point, I'm going to put the only bit of faith I'm holding on to is Anthony Stolarz and Craig Berube. Those are kind of my 2 guys right now. The new guys. At the end of the day, though, they need to score. They need to score the puck. And I think if one bounce goes their way on Thursday, they get a little goal in there. We're chilling. But ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all in the video tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening and enjoy the rest of the hockey. There's a good game on right now, Vegas and Minnesota. So
go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go.
Leafs got it. Hopefully.
Leafs Digest, your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold where legends are